Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fryer Place. Yes, where the conversations are fire with the Green Legion Radio, brought to you by Live Casino, South Philadelphia, and Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler, 102.5 Philadelphia. Y'all come on in the room. We are on time today. We're just going to talk Super Bowl. Yeah, I want to interact with those of you who are usually followers, usually logged in, chimed in, come in the room. When you come in the room, the Fryer Place, I want to chat with you all today about the Super Bowl. Yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs. See what you're feeling, see what you're thinking. I know we have some Philly fans out there. Do we have any Chief fans out there? Sister Sally, I see you in the room already. Yeah, let me read this first sponsorship read, and then we'll get right into this conversation. Y'all, game days at Live. Make Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia your game day destination, whether at home, whether it's a home game or whether it's an away game. Head to the Center Bar Sports and Social to watch the game. Enjoy food, drink specials, giveaways, contests, and more. Participate in Ron Jaworski's $100,000 football challenge. Yeah, make your picks against Ron Jaworski each week for your chance to win your share of $100,000 in prizes and Jaws tickets to the big game. Visit any promotional kiosk to make your picks each week. You have to be 21 years of age or older. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit livecasinophilly.com for details. That's livecasinophilly.com for details. Y'all come on in the room. Vanetta, I see you. I just need to turn that up a little bit so I can see a little bit more. Make that a little bit brighter, but I'll be all right. It'll be all right. Y'all come on in the room. We're going to talk Super Bowl today. We're about to make history. I don't know if you know this or not. Eagles fans, Chief fans, whichever side you're for. As you can see with me, there it is. It's a Philly thing. Yeah, it is a Philly thing. What's a Philly thing? Y'all ever heard the word John before? That's a Philly thing. Now, I mean, that's a Philly thing. This, that, and the third, that's a Philly thing. And this Eagles in the Super Bowl, y'all, it's a Philly thing. Y'all better get used to it. Y'all come on in the room. I see you. Come on in the room. But we're going to talk Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to talk Kansas City Chiefs. I want to respond to your questions. I want to respond to what you want to know. If there's any questions you may have, any comments you may have, anything that you would want to throw in the mix for us to talk about, let's do it today. This is your chance. I want to interact with all of the followers, all of the subscribers, all of you who tune in every week to the Fryer Place to listen and to see what's happening with us. No guest today. You're the guest. I am the host, and you are the guest. Joseph Sawyer, I see you, my brother. Yep. He said, I'm a Falcon fan, but fly, Eagles, fly. Yeah, fly, Eagles. It's a Philly thing. It's a Philly thing. Wanda, I see you. Kiki, I see you. Y'all come on in the room. As I had mentioned just a little while ago, we're getting ready to make history. What do you mean, Fryer? We're getting ready to make history. Listen, this is the first Super Bowl, and this is Super Bowl 59. Super Bowl 59. I'm 60 years old. Oh, I'm sorry, Super Bowl 57. I'm 60 years old. I can always tell which Super Bowl it is because the Super Bowls are 3 years younger than me. So it's only it's in my lifetime, Super Bowl 57. And this is the first time in the Super Bowl where there have been two starting black quarterbacks. First time in history. You would think it would have happened sooner than now, but we're making history right now. We're in the midst of it. You're going to see it here in about 10 days. Two starting quarterbacks, the best two quarterbacks, arguably the best two quarterbacks in the league right now. It's really kind of apropos that these two teams have a lot in common with regards to statistics in terms of being not just the number one seed in their conference, but 1 and 2 in offense, 1 and 2 in defense in a lot of areas. So they're very comparable with each other, and it's going to be a very, very, I think, very exciting game. Obviously, games always, whether it's a Super Bowl, whether it's a championship, whether it's playoffs, whether it's a regular season game, most games come down to turnovers. Most games come down to the play of the quarterback, oftentimes than not. So we have two great teams, two great quarterbacks playing. It's going to be one of the best, I think, one of the best Super Bowls for the fans in many years past. We've had some good ones, but I think this one's going to be really exciting. You have two exciting teams and two exciting players at the helm of each team. So y'all come on in the room. Anybody have any questions? Are you a Eagles fan? Throw that in the comments. Are you an Eagles fan or are you a Chiefs fan? Who do you want to win? Do you want the Eagles to win or the Chiefs to win, and why? And why? I know some of us are not Eagles fans. Oh, Wanda said, look at what Wanda said. Are you rubbing this? Oh, you're not rubbing it in my face, Wanda, but it's good. She said, listen, I told you at the beginning of the year we would be here. Okay, all right. So are you a prophetess? Well, we're here. And you know what? At the beginning of the year, if you're talking about the Eagles, and I know you're talking about the Eagles, at the beginning of the year, there were high hopes, after the draft, after, free agency was over and all the moves that Howie Roseman made, bringing in wide receivers, bringing in linebackers, shoring up some areas and solidifying some weak spots, particularly in the defensive backfield. It was phenomenal during the offseason. And before the season started, because of all the moves that were made by Howie Roseman and the Eagles organization, bringing in these talented players who have come in, and all of them, for the most part, have performed at a high level. The team has been unbelievable. So at the beginning of the year, after all of those moves and after all of that was done, yeah, I think the expectations of fans, the expectations of people began to increase. And I think it got to a point where people were saying, okay, making the playoffs won't be enough with all the talent and all the moves that have been made. This team is a really good team. So making the playoffs won't be enough. So everybody, I think, was expecting the Eagles prior to the season starting. The expectation was the NFC Championship game, not so much the Super Bowl. But then as things begin to progress and they begin to win games, and we really saw how good this team became right in front of our eyes, they just kind of metamorphosized into a really, really good football team. Then I guess the expectation became, okay, Super Bowl or bust, not necessarily win the Super Bowl, but at least get to the Super Bowl. Once we saw the other competition, particularly in the NFC, not so much the NFC East, because the NFC East was the toughest division in the NFC conference. But once we saw what was happening in the rest of the conference, yeah, it was Super Bowl or bust. And here we are. We are on our way to the Super Bowl. And I say we lightly. I don't mean me. I'm not on the team anymore. But when I say we, I'm talking as a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles because we have to be careful of that. We are not the ones out there playing. It's the Eagles and the players that are out there sacrificing in blood, sweat, and tears and all of that. We just jump on the bandwagon because we're fans. But the Eagles are on their way to the Super Bowl. And I think the last time they were in the Super Bowl was, 5 years ago? So it's 2 times in the last 5 years or 6 years, however you want to count it. But yeah, it's a good time here in Philadelphia. Phillies went way further than we ever thought they would. Yes, further and farther, degree of play and distance in the playoffs and all. They went all the way to the World Series, and obviously got routed there. But it was an exciting time, and now here we are, right across the street with the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're in the Super Bowl, and have, statistically, if you look at this on paper, and how these two teams match up, the Eagles really do. I know they're only a 1-point favorite. I really don't mess around with all of the in terms of gambling and all that kind of stuff. I don't mess around with that stuff, or betting, I should say. But they're a 1-point favorite. But man, they look good matched up against Kansas City. But that's why they play the game. Richard, I see you. He said, "What's up, everybody?" Hope I see you. Keenan in the house. It's chilly in Philly. Yeah, it is chilly in Philly right now. It's a Philly thing. Richard said, what are you talking about, Richard? Now, see, Richard Melton is, have you licked your wounds yet, Richard? Because Richard is a Buffalo Bills fan. And, we know where Buffalo is. Don't get scared now. Y'all talk big talk to this point. Don't stop now. Say you all going. Yeah, I believe. Listen, Richard, I believe. He said, say y'all going to win it. I'm going to say, I predict my pick for the game for the Super Bowl is the Eagles. Yeah, they match up well. Okay, let me give you one stat. What's up, Joseph? Joseph Sawyer, I see you. Eagles defense is the truth. You're right, and that's what I'm getting ready to talk about. Here's one stat. There's been 2 other times. So the Chiefs are the number 1 passing team in the league. Okay, the Eagles are the number 1 pass defense in the league. All right, the Chiefs are the number 1 passing offense in the league. Not AFC and totally AFC and NFC. The Eagles are the number 1 pass defense in the entire league. The last time the number 1s, offense and defense, met each other in the Super Bowl happened 2 other times. Rich Gannon versus Tampa Bay. Okay. And then there was Peyton Manning versus Seattle, the Seattle Seahawks. And the defenses prevailed by more than 30 points. You with me? So that, if you look at that stat in and of itself, that means that the Eagles are favored by more than 1 point to win this game because of their defense. Again, let me say it again. When the number 1 in the past, when the number 1 passing offense meets the number 1 pass defense in the Super Bowl, it's happened 2 other times. Rich Gannon versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They had a great defense. And then Peyton Manning, when he was with Denver, versus Seattle Seahawks. They had a great defense. And the defenses prevailed by more than 30 points. That's a heck of a stat right there. So in and of itself, Richard Melton, the Eagles, I predict the Eagles will win this game. And that's what's been happening pretty much most of the year, even when not that so much the offense faltered to a standstill at any point during the season. I mean, when Minshew was playing those couple of games, they really struggled offensively. Well, actually, he threw for 355 yards against Dallas, so that's not really struggling. But anyway, and those games that Minshew played, The defense held it together, and defense has always held it. People have a problem with Jonathan Gannon and his defensive schemes. He doesn't blitz enough. Well, you know what? When you blitz, you really open yourself up for big plays. If the blitzers don't get to the quarterback, now you're one-on-one with the field wide open with those receivers and skill players, and the ball gets out of the hands of the quarterback and gets into the hands of one of those skilled receivers, you're vulnerable for big plays. So teams against quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts, who's mobile, against quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, who's very mobile and creative in his play, they're less likely, and understand this too. Patrick Mahomes is number one. He's the best quarterback in the league versus the blitz. So we let Jonathan Gannon do what he's been doing, because again, against the pass right now, the Philadelphia Eagles defense is the number one defense against the pass. They've given up less yards passing than any other team in the league. That's pretty darn good. And it doesn't warrant all of the criticism that people continue to spew Jonathan Gannon's way. I mean, he continues to get a raw deal. David Hunt, what's going on? David Hunt. Yeah, David Hunt said, okay, we're going to start an argument now. We got to go back and forth. I like this. David Hunt said, I'm AFC all the way. Mahomes will win. Okay. David Hunt is at the Fryar place, starting trouble. He said, if you like Philly in the Super Bowl, click the like button. Yeah, y'all, if you like KC in the Super Bowl, click the like button. Either way, click the like button. I like that, Dave. I appreciate that. If you like Kansas City in the Super Bowl, y'all, click the like button. Either way, click the like button. I appreciate you, Dave. So does anybody have any questions for me? Anybody have any predictions? Anybody have anything they want to say? Are you football fans? Do you know what's going on right now? And just to give you a heads up, with the Fryar place, next week we're going to be out in Arizona, in Glendale, in Scottsdale, all up in that area. Irvingdale. My name is Irvingdale. So Irvingdale is going to be in Scottsdale and Glendale, all of them Dales next week. So we will not be live at our usual time next week. But if you hit your notifications buttons at the Fryar place where you subscribe on the homepage, then it'll notify you when we go live, because we're going to be live several times next week while we're out in Arizona, and it'll be pop-ups. There will be pop-ups. They won't be scheduled. I don't know where they're going to be. I'm just going to be in the mix with all the stuff that's going on out there, and whenever I deem necessary, I'm going live. So and we'll be mobile, so we'll be walking around. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a really, really, really exciting time. I'm excited. I haven't been to a Super Bowl since the last Super Bowl I went to was when McNabb 5 and T.O. were playing down in New Orleans. I was working for a Philadelphia affiliate in TV, and Gary Papa, God rest his soul, we were down there, and that was the last Super Bowl I went to. So the last one was with Philly. They did not prevail, but I really do have a strong feeling that this time it's going to be a difference. It's going to be a difference. Now, listen, Kansas City is no pushover. They're not in the Super Bowl because they're a pushover. Trust me. Even last week when Philadelphia played the 49ers, the 49ers weren't a pushover. Just so happened, a couple of injuries, key players, quarterbacks. I mean, Purdy was the third string quarterback. They had already gone through two quarterbacks prior to Purdy. Purdy came in and played well, 7 games. He was 7-0. When he got hurt, then I think it was Johnson is his name. He came in. He just looked like a deer in headlights. He was the fourth string quarterback. They were trying to make it with him. Then he got hurt. So they didn't have a quarterback. They were trying to go Wildcat with MCM, I mean, CMC, Christian McCaffrey, call him CMC. They were trying to go Wildcat with him, but it just, I mean, they were just out of whack. I knew when Purdy went down, pretty much the game was over. And then when the fourth string, Johnson, I believe his name is, when he went down, I knew it was a wrap. And the Eagles knew it was a wrap. And the 49ers knew it was a wrap. It's a shame that it went down like that, but it did. It happens. You know, Hassan Reddick is a beast, and you can't ask a tight end. I don't care if it is Kelsey. You can't ask a tight end by himself to block that guy. Normally, Hassan Reddick is going up against tackles, offensive tackles, and they were trying to block him with one guy, a tight end. That Kyle Shanahan should be smacked for that. Something that's not good. I don't know what he was thinking or why. He must not have watched he had to have watched the tape of Hassan. Hassan's got more sacks than anybody on the Eagles front line. Come on. 16 sacks this year. He's a beast. So anyway, Kansas City Chiefs are not going to be a pushover. The Eagles are going to have to play this game, and they're going to have to play the best game that they played this year, because as we saw last week with Patrick Mahomes he had half of his cast. You know, they had 3 receivers that were out. They weren't even playing. He didn't have most of his guys with him. Was it Juju Schuster and Kadarius Toney and McCole Hardman? They were on the sidelines. They're his starting cast, and Mahomes still pulled it off with 1 foot. Ran for the first down and obviously got that penalty, but he made it happen with a gimp leg, with a hitch in his giddy up. My gosh, the guy is special. It's going to be the Eagles' biggest challenge this year. I think they're going to be fine. I think it's going to go down, obviously, to the fourth quarter and maybe even the last possession, who has the ball last. But it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game. Let's take a break and do one of these reads, all right? I'll come back to you in a minute. Echelon Health and Fitness, located in Voorhees, New Jersey, voted best gym in South Jersey 5 years in a row. Memberships starting at $8.99 per month. Family and locally owned. Yes. Indoor track, newest cardio and strength training equipment, 3 studios, indoor pool, whirlpool and dry sauna, kids club, over 100 group fitness, and Thrive personal train sessions per week, including but not limited to Les Mills Body Pump and Grit, boot camp, bar, yoga, Zumba, spin, and hot bar, aqua conditioning, aqua dance, and mat Pilates. Yes, Echelon members save at over 800 local businesses simply for being an active member. Call 856-454-2976. That's 856-454-2976 for a free 30-day all-access pass, or go to echelonhf.com. That's echelonhfhealthfitness.com. All right, y'all. We're back in the mix. Let me come on back over here on this other camera so you guys can make sure you see it's a Philly thing. Yeah, it's a Philly thing. Okay, David Hunt wants to know. He said it's a quick. Listen, if you're going to ask a question, please throw in the comments a Q with a semicolon. That way I know it's a question. It'll draw my eye to it. And I can address it. But I got you, Dave. Dave is asking, let me see if I can throw it up there. Yeah, quick side. He said quick aside. Do you think Tampa Bay 12, that's Tom Brady, you know who that is actually going to retire? Yes, I do. Because he made a comment in his post. And he went, he did it so he didn't have to go out in front of everybody or a bunch of people. He just, in the moment, got on his, I don't know if it's Facebook or if he was on Instagram or what he was on, but he did a live post and he said something in there to the degree, I can't remember it verbatim, but he said something about the fact that when he retired, last year, and came back. It was kind of messy. You can't do that again. So yeah, he's done. And listen, he's going to make more money in his first contract with TV than he made in his whole entire football career. I think his contract with the station is like, and I don't know which one it is, but it's like $360 million. Oh my gosh, he's going to make more money outside of football. It just keeps going. Some people are really, really, really blessed. I mean, if you look at money as a blessing, it is a blessing. If you have the right attitude about money and you handle money the right way. But my gosh, and money, you need money to live. And money makes living a little bit easier when you're in your right mind and you're focused and you're moving in the right direction. Your priorities and all that stuff is straight. Money makes it very, very much comfortable for you. So yeah, he's not taking a step backwards. I believe Tom is done. He did not look good this season at all. I don't remember a time watching him play and having a spring in his step and his arm, on fire. The ball didn't have the zip on it this year for whatever reason. People will, pick at him and talk about his divorce and all those kinds of things that were going on, personal affairs that were taking place during the season, particularly at the beginning of the season. And they point to those things and they say that's why he didn't play as well as he had been playing. And, it's not like all of a sudden you lose your talent. What happens is the mental, particularly for a quarterback, the mental part of it, the emotional part of it, the focus part of it really suffers if there's distractions. So I just don't think watching him, looking at him, obviously he did not enjoy himself this year. He wasn't the competitor and have that competitive edge and mentality, that dog mentality, that fight, that grit about him. He didn't have that aura about him this year. And I could just tell in my spirit that, he was, if he did play again, it would only be one more year, but he had enough by the time, and this is just my opinion, but he had enough by the time the season was over. So I was not surprised when it was posted that he was retiring and that he even did it that way. Vanetta says, I like Jalen Hurts' character. Let me throw this up. This is not a question. She says, I like Jalen Hurts' character. He's doing great things in and for the city. He's a big supporter of black businesses. Yeah, I think he has a black agent. Also, we're making history. There's a black female coach, football coach on the Eagles, and it'll be the first time a female, particularly a black female, is coaching in the Super Bowl. So there's a lot of history going on, and yeah, Jalen's a different guy. He is. His demeanor, his countenance, his ability to focus, the way he's handling, the way he handles situations. That's how we ought to be in life, actually. Not get too high, not get too low, just kind of stay balanced in the middle no matter what happens. But yeah, he's a different guy, and I think this time, this moment, he's perfect for, and he's perfect for the position, not just talent-wise, but as we mentioned, or as I mentioned, as everybody can see, his personality, who he is, how he handles himself, how he carries himself is perfect for this city, for Philadelphia, because in Philly, it's tough in any sport, professional sport particularly, to play. And if you can't handle the criticism, and today in the modern age with social media and all that stuff that's in our face every day, all day, if you can't internalize and interpret those things and compartmentalize it the right way, then it will hurt you more than it will help you. And Jalen seems to be that dude. He's that dude when it comes to not just proving us wrong, and because at the beginning of the season, one of the factors about what this team was going to do or was capable of doing or how far they were going to go in the season rested. Everybody put all of that in spite of all of the talent that was around Jalen, everybody still put all of that expectation on Jalen, saying, well, Jalen has to improve to this level. Jalen has to play like this. If Jalen doesn't play like this team is not going to go as far as it can go. And it rested on the shoulders of Jalen. Jalen knew that. And, man, he exceeded he exceeded everybody's expectations this year. That's, you know what? That's the biggest gratification for me from this season, from the Philadelphia Eagles and all the victories, 14-3. I predicted them to be 13-4, but they're 14-3. Wow. But in everything, all the success, all of the records that got broken, all of the touchdowns, all of the stuff, all of the accomplishments, as far as the team is concerned, individually, collectively, all that stuff. The greatest moment for me this year about this team was when, and it took place, over the course of probably 3 or 4 weeks. The greatest moment is when everybody realized Jalen is the dude. Yeah, when everybody stopped questioning him, when everybody stopped and people started saying, yeah, he's the dude. He's the man. He can throw the ball deep. He can make the right reads in the RPO. Listen, that's one of the things with the Chiefs that they're going to have to deal with Jalen. Yes, they've seen quarterbacks run RPOs, run pass options in the past, but they haven't seen a quarterback like Jalen. And there have been plenty of quarterbacks running RPOs, but there's not one like Jalen. Jalen has a gift. He has a gift that is so it's not even obvious. People don't know that it's a gift, but it's so powerful that he knows when he's got a gift that knows when to hand that ball off, when to keep it, when to throw it, and in the RPOs I'm talking about. And it's different than anybody else. And that's why the Eagles have been so successful offensively, and that's why teams have struggled to defend the Eagles, because when they face Jalen and those RPOs, it's different than anybody else running RPOs, because he has a way of knowing when to hold on to the ball, knowing when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to run. He just has a way of doing it that's different than everybody else, and you cannot defend it. You just can't. Wanda asks, who do you think will have the most receiving yards on the Eagles? Oh, in the game? Are you asking for the game, Wanda? I guess you are. Listen, that's a great question, too, because understand this. Yes, they got Chris Jones. The Chiefs got Chris Jones. He's a lineman right there in the middle. Kelsey's going to have to deal with him. Chris Jones has 15.5 sacks this year. He is a beast. He is a beast. You don't hear about him, or you haven't heard about him, and he gets most of his sacks in the fourth quarter because he's such a beast. He wears the offensive lineman down, and then he starts getting sacks. But he got more sacks than anybody else in the league in the fourth quarter, and he's got 15.5. Hassan Reddick has got 16. Chris Jones is right behind him. But they got two rookie corners, the Chiefs do. So that's an area, and they've been doing okay. I think they got a couple of interceptions. Matter of fact, they got an interception. One of them got an interception last week versus Cincinnati. But that's a weak area for them. They're rookies. And we have A.J. Brown, and although Devontae Smith is in his second year, he doesn't play like a second-year guy. He's not a rookie. He's a guy that's he's phenomenal. He's a great player. He's going to be a great player. He stays healthy. Records are not going to exist anymore in this league with that young cat. He's awesome. I love the way he runs routes. I love the way he goes after the ball. I love the way he carries himself. He's got confidence. He's tough. He's not a big guy, but he's a tough guy, which is all the difference in the world. That makes all the difference in the world. Doesn't matter the size of the dog in the fight. What matters is the size of the fight in the dog. And he's got a lot of fight in him. He's a tough kid. And I can say kid because I'm old. I'm 60 and he's in his 20s, almost young enough to be, well, I'm almost old enough to be his grandfather. But anyway, who do I think will have more yards or more catches? I think probably Devontae. The way he's been stepping up like he did in the last game In the last 2 games, he's been stepping up. Although A.J. Brown, he's awesome as well. It's a toss-up, but I like $6, no change. That's what I call him. $6, no change. That's what he does. He goes and gets 6 points, and the defense get no change. And he wears number 6. That's my dude. So yeah, Wanda, that's if I had to pick one of the two to see I'll be cheering for both of them. But I like Devontae, man. He's awesome. Hey, Mom. Mom is in the house. Everett Hanford, what's going on, bro? Good to see you. I'll be seeing you soon. Yeah, we'll be doing your wedding. Black female agent. Yes, he does. He has a female agent, black female agent. Yep, he's making tremendous strides. Joseph Sawyer, what's going on? He's got a humble spirit. Jalen Hurts. Yes. And watch this. He's getting ready to make upwards of $250 million. They're going to have to pay him $50 million a year. Yeah, and they're going to do it sooner than later. Kyler Murray. We know who Kyler Murray is. Matter of fact, watch this. Kyler Murray is the quarterback for the Cardinals. So the Eagles went to Arizona and won in that stadium this year. And so did the Chiefs. The Chiefs went there and won this year. So whoever wins this game, the Super Bowl game, will have won more games in that stadium this year than the Cardinals. That's crazy, isn't it? Kyler Murray makes $47 million a year. And Kyler Murray hadn't been to playoffs. Kyler Murray hadn't been to a Super Bowl. None of that. Kyler Murray has not been even close to the player that Jalen Hurts is. So the Eagles are going to have to come up with something more than $47 million a year. They paid Carson Wentz. Watch this. They paid Carson Wentz, I think it was $30 million about 5 years ago. Was it 5 years ago? They paid Carson Wentz $30 million a year. And that was, I guess, a blockbuster deal. Now we're almost, 5 years later, and it's doubled, almost doubled. Wow. Jalen's going to be, he's going to really be the man then. He's going to go from making $1 million a year to making $50 million a year. Man, I was born too soon. Mama, I was born too soon. My gosh, these cats, it's unbelievable. But that's what sports and TV, that's the kind of money they're generating, and ticket sales and shirts and T-shirts and jerseys. It's all generating all of that money. So, and can you imagine when the players are making $50, $40 million a year, how much money the owners are making? If I can afford to pay you $50 million a year, you know I'm making a whole lot more than that. Yeah. The NFL is a beast. The NFL is a beast. Vanetta says, I'm an Eagles fan. Okay, let me throw this up here. Vanetta says, I'm an Eagles fan. Let me fix it. Okay, right there. I'm an Eagles fan. However, Bro Fryar, your show is the most football I've ever watched. Your show is the most football I have ever watched. I get my football education from listening to your show. I hope I am saying something that gives you a little insight, that informs you about the game. And if you have any questions, Vanetta, please feel free about the game itself, that you don't understand, something you want to know, please don't hesitate to ask. Now, there's something that's going to happen here once the season is over. We're going to shift. I got a lot of different types of guests, a variety of different types of guests that are going to be on the show starting after the season. I've got, a base commander. I got a general coming on. I got some people in the music industry. I got people from different arenas in society that are going to come on, and we're going to shift out of sports and get into some other kinds of conversations so we can be well-rounded here at the Fryar Place. But right now it's football. So Vanetta, I thank you for that. That's very kind of you. I'm not the most insightful person. I don't necessarily explain it all the right way. I particularly have trouble with names. trying to remember. All these these sport reporters and sportcasters, media people, they remember all these names and they can toss them out and throw them out when they're talking about them and recall them. I struggle with that, and particularly on different teams, but I'm getting better. I had been out of the game for a while. And when I say I've been out of the game, I've been out of, following the game. I even fasted from football for a year. So I didn't watch any football for a whole year about 4 or 5, 6 years ago. I can't remember how long ago it was. And I had lost touch with football. But now I'm back in touch and trying to do my thing. So thank you, Vanetta. That means a lot to me. Yes, Jalen's agent is a black female. Everett Hanford, it's my nephew, y'all. He said, curious, Unc, as a person who has also played on the grand stage in the Super Bowl, yep, we got our behinds whooped by the Bears. What advice would you give to these young players as they gear up for this moment next Sunday? I think it's a good question, Everett. Thank you so much. I see you, PJ Harper. What's going on? Steve Andrews, what up? Good to see y'all, man. Y'all come on in the room. Yeah. Kalis Mobile, what's up? Cheryl Williams, y'all on. Y'all are in here today. Come on in the room. Man, I see y'all. Cheryl Williams, I'm going to get back to your question in a minute. All these people coming in the room. Keenan says, Eagles 30, Chiefs 15. Let me get back to the question. What would be my advice to these young cats going into this game? You know what? That's a great question, and the reason it's a great question is because we, the Patriots, in 1985, when we played the Bears in the Super Bowl, we handled that game wrong. We handled the situation wrong. We put so much emphasis on the fact, thank you, we put so much emphasis on, that's my in-studio assistant telling me I got 2 minutes before the next break. We put so much emphasis on the fact that it was the Super Bowl that we lost our focus. We lost our energy. It threw us off. When it took us a whole half to freaking wake up. And by then it was too late. The Bears were so far ahead of us, it was too late. So my word to these young cats who are going in, the Eagles going in to play this game, keep your routine the same. This first week, and I'm sure Sirianni has let these guys know, he's been to championships before, maybe not necessarily the Super Bowl, but he understands that, listen, you got 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. This first week, you're going to have family calling, friends calling, people popping up from all over the place. I mean, I've been out of football for 23 years now, and I probably had 7 or 8 people contact me asking for Super Bowl tickets. I can't get no Super Bowl tickets. But so you can imagine how these players are bombarded with all these requests, trying to make reservations, trying to get things in place. Take care of all of that first at the beginning of last week, right when that game was over and you won the NFC Championship. All that stuff starts happening those first couple of days. Get all that stuff out of the way so you can focus and get into your normal routine that whatever it is you do during the season. If you're used to going to the stadium early, still go to the stadium early. If you stay late, stay late. If you get in the hot, whatever you do during the week, treat this as like we know it's the Super Bowl, but you keep your routine the same. Don't do anything more and don't do anything less. And go play the same way you would play in a regular game. Give it your all. And if you do that, been 14-3. If you do that, you'll handle your business. But you can't put more emphasis on this game than you have in the games in the past. And because if you do that, you'll lose your focus. If you do that, you'll play tight. If you do that, you won't be able to flow like you've been able to flow in the past. And so I would just tell them as much as they can, keep this a normal week. Keep this a normal preparation. Keep this the same as you've been doing, because what you've been doing has been working. That's why you're in this position to play in this particular game. Let's take a break. Go to real quick, and I'll be back. Let's go to this next commercial. If I find my cursor. I can't find my cursor. Oh, there it is. Okay, no, I can't find it. There it is. All right, here we go. Listen, don't hang out alone in the man cave for football this season. Try hanging out at Cheerleaders. $4 Miller Lights, Jameson specials, and awesome game day prizes during all Sunday and Monday games. No more Monday games now, but that's right. Stop in before or during or after the game, not only to see your favorite entertainers, but also to get your chance to win an awesome game day prize. The most epic game day experiences is at Cheerleaders, where champions play. Cheerleaders is open daily from noon to 2 a.m. Open daily from noon to 2 a.m. All right, we're back. Let me see if we got any more questions. I see all y'all in the house. What was it? Steve Andrews says Chiefs will be lucky not to give up 40 to the Eagles. Listen, the Chiefs have a good defense. They're not giving up a whole lot of points. They have a good defense. And I wondered about that too, Steve, until I went and did a little research. You know, I was thinking, okay, how are they going to handle? What have they been doing defensively all year long? So they've been playing well. Again, I think their weak area is the corners. They have 2 rookie corners playing. They've been playing all year long. They've gotten better as the season has progressed, as they should, and they have. Are they ready for this moment? They're rookies. A.J. Brown is not a rookie. Devontae Smith is not a rookie. $6 no change will go get it and come back with it. That's what he will do. So I don't know if they're going to score 40. If that happens, if the Eagles score 40, I promise you the Chiefs will be right behind them. And I don't see the Chiefs scoring 40 points. This real estate, holding on to the ball, running the ball, these are what's going to be done. The Eagles run the ball like the third most in the league. And is it third? Yeah, they run the ball the third most in the league. And they pass the ball the 23rd most in the league. I think those are the numbers. I had them right here in front of me somewhere. I can't see. Offense. Yeah. Yep. They rush the ball third. So they want to run the ball. The Eagles want to run the ball. They pass the ball. I know we think they pass the ball a lot, but they pass the ball in comparison to the rest of the league. They're 23rd in passing attempts. 23rd. There's 22 other teams that throw the ball more than them, and there's 32 teams in the league. So they're going to run the ball. They're going to try to hold on to the ball. RPOs. The Eagles are not very good against the run, but they haven't had to be real good against the run because they've all, for the most part, this season they've had a lead and teams have had to try to keep up. So they've had to abandon the run and pass the ball. And that's when Philadelphia pins their ears back, and that awesome front four gets after the quarterback, and that's when sacks take place. But I don't know, Steve. I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if Eagles score 40. And I'd be surprised if Kansas City score 40. I really would be. I don't think it's going to be that high. They might score 30, but 40 is a lot. It's a lot of points. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? That's why you play the game. Show Williams, a female staff. She said, a female staff too? Yeah. Love that. His agent is your Sora. Okay, Sora. Yep. I know something about that. She's a Delta, right? Yeah. You can see the shield in the back over here, right? Yeah. Okay. As long as you know. We're all in the same. All one in the same. What's going on, Vinny? Visuals. Eye of Horus Visuals. Hey, what's going on? That's my nephew, too. Wanda, she's got a question. All right, here we go. She thinks Gainwell is going to surprise everyone in the game. You think Gainwell is going to have a good, big game? I mean, he's been running the ball well, particularly in the playoffs. He's had some big games. So he's a solid back. And guess what? it's predicted that Miles Sanders will not be with the Eagles next year because of contract situations and who they have to decide who they're going to pay and keep and who they're going to have to decide to let go because they can't really afford to pay them. And Miles Sanders kind of falls in that category where they're probably going to let him go to another team. So Gainwell is going to be that dude. He's probably going to get the starting nod, once, unless they draft or pick up someone in free agency at running back. They'll probably draft a running back, but Gainwell will be the man probably starting next year. Boston Scott is the older of the two, and Boston does well not as a starter. He does better when he doesn't have to carry the ball or carry the load in the running game. As a backup, he's much more effective than he is. He got hurt, and kind of stayed hurt when he was running the ball a lot. But when he doesn't have to be the starter and carry the load, Boston Scott is a very effective second running back. So Gainwell, when he's given the opportunity, he runs hard, and he particularly has been running hard in the postseason. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a big game. That would be nice for him because that would be a nice propulsion into next season for him to come off of a great game and win the Super Bowl, and that would propel him into a starting position next year because Miles Sanders, from what they're saying, Miles Sanders will not be with the Eagles next year. Mr. Parchment, what's going on? Dr. Alfred, Vinny, Stu, hey, man, how you doing? Cheryl Williams says, let me see, as long as we have more points when the clock says, yeah, that's all that matters. Y'all, as long as the Eagles have more points, you don't have to win by one. You only have to win by one. Y'all, it's a Philly thing. You only have to win by one. That's all it takes. Just win by one. You don't have to win by 50. You don't have to win by, nope. Just when the clock runs all zeros, if you got one more point than the opposing team, guess what? You win. You won. No doubt. Steve said, no doubt it will be. You know what? I agree with you, Steve. Steve says it will no doubt be a great matchup. But you know what? It's almost like a movie too. You get pumped up with the scenes of a movie that's supposed to be a great movie, and then you get to the movie, and it's a little less than what you expected. Lackluster, and I think that's what happened when we were watching the NFC Championship last week with the Eagles and the 49ers. Purdy got hurt, Johnson got hurt, and it wasn't a fun game to watch. I mean, it was fun because the Eagles were winning. It probably was fun to be at the stadium with all the people cheering, and then afterwards, when they won the NFC Championship, all of the confetti, all of the families, and the players interacting with the fans. That was pretty hot. That was pretty nice. But the game in itself wasn't a good game. It wasn't a good game. And sometimes we build ourselves up, or we build the game up to a point, and then we get to the game and it's not a good game. But I think because who's at the helm on each side, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes never fails to do something crazy in a game. And when I say crazy, I mean something good, fantastic, something acrobatic, some crazy throw, some crazy, like he did to end the game last week. He's got one leg. It's cold outside. He doesn't have his receivers, and he runs for the first down when he's been gimping all day. He's amazing, and so is Jalen. It's going to be a great game. Vinny Capriati says, let me put his score up. Vinny says Eagles 28, Chiefs 23. Listen, before we get off, y'all, come on, put your predictions in the column. Throw your predictions in the column. Let me see what you say. Let's see who's going to be right. I'm not going to write all these down. I probably should, but put your predictions in the column. I think we have a couple of Chiefs fans listening right now. Do we have a couple of Chiefs fans? If we do, again, as David Hunt said, if you're a Chiefs fan, hit the like button. If you're Eagles fan, hit the like button. Either way, hit the like button. Oh, and Dave, that's you, Dave. Okay, Dave said, oh, Eagles 15, Chiefs 30. Keenan, I know that's not you. I have it going the other way. Oh, David Hunt said Eagles 15, Chiefs 30. Keenan, you're saying Chiefs 15, Eagles 30. Okay, I got you. Whew. Gave me a heart attack there for a minute, Keenan. I thought you lost your mind. Thought you flipped your wig there for a minute, brother. Come on. All right, y'all put your predictions in the column. Okay. What? Wait a minute, Stu. Stu, you're from this area. 31-17. Boo Birds. For real, Stu? You're not a Birds fan? Come on, man. What? Who do you root for? Who are you a fan of, Stu? You're not a fan of the Eagles. Were you a fan of the Eagles when I played for the Eagles? I hope so, or at least a fan of Irving. Wow, you said Boo Birds. My goodness. J.P. Harper, Eagles 20, Chiefs 17. PJ, I said PJ. Yeah, PJ. PJ Harper, Eagles 20, Chiefs 17. That's a good score. You know what? You're probably right in the ballpark, PJ. You're probably right in the ballpark. Donald Hunter says Chiefs 42. Wow. Eagles 38. That's a lot of scoring. That's going to be an exciting game if that happens. I beg to differ with you, Donald. I appreciate you being with us here, Donald, but it's a Philly thing, bro. Yeah, it's a Philly thing. Everybody's entitled to their, yeah, you're entitled. Steve Andrews, Eagles 38, 24, Chiefs. They will shock the football world. Okay. All right. You're a prophet. Now we got prophets. We had a prophetess. Now we got a prophet on the line. Prophet Steve Andrews. 38-24. Okay. All right. Cheryl Williams says 41 Eagles, Chiefs 23. He. See what I did there? What'd you do there? He. Eagles 41, Chiefs 33. What'd you do? See, he. See what I did there? Yeah. I don't know what you do, Cheryl. Am I missing something? I must be missing it. Stu said, Stu, you're Eagles fan. All right. My mother said Eagles win, Chiefs lose. I think she's playing it safe. No score. Oh, you called them the Boo Birds because of the fans. Okay, so you're saying the Eagles are going to win. Got you. That's Stu, y'all. Okay, let me get that out of there. So Stu is saying we called them the Boo Birds because of the fans. Okay, so you're saying the Birds are going to win. Okay, all right. I got you, Stu. You're off the hook now. Thank you. He said, I saw you play many times when you played, and I was always rooting for you. Thank you, my brother. I could feel your energy. Anybody who was rooting for me, I could feel your energy. It's going to be a nail biter. Yes, PJ, it is. It's going to be exciting, though. I'll be out that way. I don't think I'll be in the stadium, but I'll be there. And again, I said, y'all hit your notifications button for the Fryar Place. Right there next to the subscriptions. Yep, you've already subscribed, but hit the notifications button so that you can be notified. It'll come on, it'll flash on your phone to let you know, or your mobile device to let you know that we're going live. Because next week, starting on Thursday, anytime Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, anywhere in there, I'm going live. It could be at any time. So I don't know when. I'm just you'll feel my way through, but we're going to be live. We're going to be popping on live, in and out that whole weekend, the whole Super Bowl weekend. And depending on, where I am, or what's going on, or something may come up, I'm jumping on. Cheryl said 52 points will be scored. Okay. Wanda said Eagles 24, Chiefs 17. Stu, okay. Donald Hunter, it'll be one of the best Super Bowl games we had in years. I agree. I mean, it's set up for that. It's set up for that. Mobile, Kalis Mobile, 2724 Birds. Yep. Keenan, enjoy the burrito at Salt Red. Yeah, Salt is where we're having one of our events over in Glendale, y'all. It's right next to the stadium there in Arizona. And they got some burritos. I mean, the burritos like crazy huge. I couldn't even finish it when we had one there. We were out, at the Arizona game, and we did our tailgate at Salt. So we have a couple of events going on there this weekend coming up. We have a gathering where DJ Marshmello, I'll be hosting it, and the number one DJ in the world, Marshmello, will be there on Friday night. And then Saturday, right there in that same area, Westgate, we'll be hosting. I'll be hosting the Super Bowl concert with Tim McGraw. Yep, Tim McGraw, the country singer, number one country singer, number two country singer, whatever you. He's right there at the top. I'll be hosting his concert, the Super Bowl concert. So we're gonna have a really good time. I appreciate all of y'all being with me today. We're just about at the end. Yeah, let me see some of these comments real quick. Akita, hey Q, what's going on, man? Kayla says, grease the poles. Yep, that's a Philly thing. Grease the poles, because it's a Philly thing. Yep, we got to grease the poles. The Beagles, you call it, y'all, listen, I need y'all to throw some salt Richard's way. He said, yes, Beagles fans are turning out to be like cowbell fans over having a good season. The Cowgirls didn't have a good season. They're out. They're home, just like you are, Richard, watching. So stop being a hater, all right? Don't hate. Celebrate. Participate. Appreciate. Yeah. And you'll live a lot longer. You won't have a heart attack. Yep, one of the best matches ever. Yep, Robert Geist. Yep. Listen, I'm out of here, y'all. We're getting ready to get out of here. We're going to punt the ball. Yeah, we're going to punt it over to the Right On Cue show with none other than my man Quimby. So we'll see you all sometime next week. Won't know exactly when it is, but listen, I need you all to hit the notifications button. That way you can see. I thank you all for participating today. Let me shout out some of y'all. Cheryl Williams, Robert Geist, Richard Melton, AQ, Kalis Mobile, Keenan, Donald Hunter, Stu Winrow. Yeah, Wanda. Who else? PJ Harper. Thanks for being with us today. Mom, thank you always. Steve Andrews, Donald Hunter. I said PJ Harper. I said Stu. Vinny Capriati. Who else is here? Dr. Alfred Parchment. Yeah. Eyes on Horace Visuals. David Hunt. Keenan. Joseph Sawyer. Cheryl Williams. Yeah. Kalis Mobile. Let me see who else. Everett Hanford. I don't know if you're still with us, nephew, but thanks. Vanetta. Shouting you out. Shout out. Shout out. Who else? William Lenny Smith. St. Kofa. I didn't know you were with us, Vinny. Lenny, I'm sorry. What's going on, Will? Will Lynn Smith. Good to see you, bro. Thanks for joining us today. O-line and defense wins games. Go Birds. O-line and defense. That's because you're an O-lineman. You're a defensive lineman. That's right. O-line and defense wins games. You're right, Lenny. Who else? Let me see who I can shout out. I think we're just about done. If I missed anybody, Hope Wiley, Joseph Sawyer, Kiki, Sally Davis. I think I got all y'all. If I missed you, please charge it to my head, not my heart. Y'all, we're going to get out of here. Go Birds. Yep. It is a Philly thing. We're looking forward to the Super Bowl. 2 black quarterbacks. First time in the history of the NFL. It's going to be all good, y'all. It's going to be exciting. Watch for us next week. We'll be coming in and out. We'll be live all the way out in Glendale, Scottsdale, Irvingdale. We'll be live at the Fryar Place. Stay safe, y'all. Keep cheering. Go Birds. See you next week.